what you need when your home changes and your lifestyle changes, that can be a bit of a tricky decision to make. And here with tips on what to look for when buying a new home, we have real estate expert Erica Reddy here with tips. Welcome.
Thank you, Dawn. Great to be here.
Real estate is always a timely topic.
Always.
Often when we think, are we into the real estate market, it often comes down to, ooh, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? But you've actually got three other considerations.
Absolutely. So I think what's so interesting when looking at buying across our nation is there's stages that are involved in every part of moving, and moving, or buying, should we say, is such a lifestyle-based buy. So breaking it into stages is actually a really fun way to look at it and then actually tie it into all buyers across the nation.
Okay, so let's start with when we're in our 20s. And let me tell you, I live in Vancouver, and there are very few home buyers in their 20s even considering, mostly because of price. But if we are, what do we need to consider?
Absolutely. And I think you're right. 20 might be a little bit on the young side, but let's take stage one of life. You're jumping into your first job, perhaps some secondary education. You're really looking for maximizing your day-to-day efficiency. So you want to be in a place that you've got pretty much everything on your doorstep. So you want short transit. You want, ideally to roll out of bed into whatever job or education that you are in. You want nightlife. You want lifestyle. You want to build it all in. And so you typically see buying patterns for these types of stage one, let's call it moves, be Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, a lot of the major cities within our nation.
So how would we be looking at different pricing? I mean, you mentioned some of the big cities. I know how expensive it is in Vancouver. I know Toronto the same, maybe a little bit less in Calgary. But average pricing for a one-bedroom condo, what would be amongst those big cities be perhaps the most affordable?
Absolutely. So probably most affordable, you'd be looking at Calgary, probably pivoting then to Montreal. If we're talking kind of top dollar, we're looking Vancouver, Toronto.
Yeah, I know people that literally moved cities because they knew that they could afford to buy in a different place. And often it came down to if they had families, where could they afford to raise their family? So that's take us into that second stage.
Absolutely. So stage two, now we're really changing kind of those lifestyle needs. No longer are we, rolling out of bed into our lifestyle. We're really looking to maximize that lifestyle in the physical property for stage two. So this is typically based around children, marriage, just desire to really have everything that you're looking for in your actual home. So whether it's a pool-sized lot, whether it's recreation right on your back door, that is typically our stage two.
Yeah, when I think of, again, stage two affordability for families, sometimes you are going a little bit outskirts of some of the major cities. So I think of, like, again, I live in BC. Hello, BC, everybody. Squamish is a great spot because you're kind of in between that Whistler and Vancouver. So what would we be looking at for a house price, for instance, in Squamish?
Exactly. Great question. So Squamish is going to range. Probably you're looking entry around $1 million, and the sky's the limit. You could be 2, 3. So this is obviously a very substantial purchase in this stage of life, but you're typically looking at it with a really long time horizon. So this is where you're laying your roots, and you're probably staying there for the bulk of your family or that that stage of your life.
Yeah, and considering obviously not only schools, but what's the recreation, proximity to different amenities, and then I think of like the next phase where it's like I'm going to be retired. And there are lots of considerations considering that retirement, also from the perspective that you only have so much longer to either pay off your mortgage or what could you afford to live in through your retirement.
Absolutely. And stage three is actually probably almost the biggest band because you see such a huge array of needs in this phase of life. So, stage three, you're talking retirement, great point. Sometimes it's affordability. What can you afford? Where do you want to be? How are you going to maximize that part of your life? Maybe you've lived in a major city or on the outskirts of your city for stage two, and now stage three actually brings you back home. So this is where you see a lot of people actually transitioning back to the East Coast. In other cases, you're looking at it and you go, oh my gosh, I've got lifestyle now to really take advantage of. So, hiking, biking, skiing, where can you do this? Maybe you're then ending up back out west, or maybe now you are out west. In other cases, family needs, grandchildren, second, third generation, being there for that might put you actually back into the city that you first started in. So this stage is such a huge array, but some great examples, East Coast, that I mentioned, Canmore, Alberta could be another great one.
Canmore's beautiful.
Right?
Lots of great art galleries there, lots of great scenery. And PEI, that was somewhere where my father-in-law always thought he'd wanted to be, and of course now they can't make their way that way. But starting to plan now is so important. Listen, Erica, thank you so much. Where can we find out more about you and, of course, to be able to maybe have some more personalized scenarios answered?
You can find me just about anywhere, the World Wide Web, Instagram, all of those fabulous places.
EricaReddy.com. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.